The lead counselor pulsed like a serpentine creature with translucent skin. His voice, amplified by invisible forces, slithered ahead in the weak blue light. Technology hissed through the room. Let this serve as a warning to anyone who would consider opposing us. The Earth's human race had become haughty, stubborn, and believed they were untouchable because of their strength. No one in the galaxy is beyond our grasp, he continued, as we remind them today. Across continents, the picture played out in sharp contrast. In homes, offices, and military command centers, the message was viewed by humanity in startled silence. Soldiers stood frozen. Families clutched each other and wept, scanning the crowd for the faces of loved ones. The world, unified in horror, held its fury beneath the surface. Hands clenched into fists. The severity of the crime playing out in that poorly lit chamber paralyzed all who watched. General Jeff Thompson stood, with his staff in the illuminated war room beneath the Capitol. His jaw tightened. Veins at his temple pulsed, eyes locked on the screen. Among the prisoners displayed, Jeff immediately recognized one, his younger brother, Lieutenant Colonel David Thompson, captured in the Council's most recent raid on a human colony. Despite facing certain death, David stood proud, unbroken. The two had shared everything: wars, victories, and defeats. One now a captive. The other, a commander with fire in his veins. A soldier entered the room, handing Jeff a file. The intel was verified. The feed was authentic, not doctored, not simulated. Jeff said nothing. The first alien executioner stepped forward, a towering figure with gleaming ceremonial blades and armored forearms. Without hesitation, the blade fell. The crowd of human prisoners screamed, muffled by the restraints that bound them. "Cut the damn feed!" Jeff ordered. A junior officer hesitated, then obeyed. The screen went black. Silence swallowed the room. "They've just declared war," Jeff muttered, his voice low, his eyes burning. "This isn't just an attack on individuals, it's an attack on all of us. Start drafting a response." Meanwhile, in the Council's chambers, the icy applause of its members echoed like mockery. They basked in their display of power. Certain humanity would bow, but in a quiet, sunlit study on Earth, President Alan Grayson sat alone. Hands clasped, face still. The broadcast was over. But the pain wasn't. His voice hoarse, he reached for his communicator. "Get me General Thompson. Schedule an emergency Security Council meeting." Back in the Council chambers, a young alien aide approached their superior, hesitating. "Honored Counselor ... The counselor, sensing a faint tension in the air, almost imperceptible, smiled smugly. "You think the humans will retaliate?" He scoffed. "They're primitive, enslaved by emotion and fear. They bark, but they won't bite. They lack the will for true war." He was wrong. Jeff Thompson sat quietly, studying the casualty report from the colony raid. His hands trembled with rage. Then slammed the file shut. Not just for David, for every life taken. He turned to his officers. "We've been preparing for this for decades." His voice rose, fueled by fury and belief. "They think fear will break us, that we're weak, but we'll strike them where it hurts most." Colonel Briggs, wiry and sharp-tongued, leaned forward. "Sir, they have numbers. Fleets, ground forces, retaliation won't be easy." Jeff didn't blink. "It won't be easy. But if we don't act, we'll be seen as weak, and weakness invites annihilation." Major Ortega tapped a secure tablet. "We've been working in the shadows for years. Time to activate what we've kept hidden: strike teams, black units, prototype weapons. Plans we never disclosed." Jeff nodded. "We don't match them ship for ship, but we outthink them. Exploit their arrogance." The discussion shifted to logistics, black ops, Earth's hidden defenses, and a strategy built in silence elsewhere. In a secret barracks beneath the Rocky Mountains, Sergeant First Class Darius Peterson checked his squad's gear. Each soldier embodied humanity's finest. Beside him, Corporal Eli Ward, calm under pressure, a tech genius with a mind for drones and digital warfare. Nearby, Specialist Logan Pierce inspected high-yield explosives with a grin. "You think this'll work?" he joked, holding up a modified charge. If it doesn't, Peterson replied, you're the one going in next. Laughter broke the tension. But they all knew this mission was no joke. They weren't just soldiers. They were survivors. Each with losses. Each with a reason to fight. In the command center, Jeff stood before a massive holographic map, the galaxy glowing in council red. Earth's territories dotted in blue. We strike here, he pointed. First, we cut their communications, isolate them. Then we hit their outposts and supply chains. Colonel Briggs raised an eyebrow. And the endgame? Jeff's voice darkened. Their leadership falls. This isn't just revenge. It's deterrence. We bleed them first. As the officers dispersed to carry out orders, Jeff lingered at the Comore. His thoughts on David, defiant in the face of death. A chime interrupted. The president's face filled the screen. General Thompson, the people are angry. They're turning to us? Do we have them? Jeff answered without hesitation. They'll see what we're capable of when the time comes. And the time was coming. In the days that followed, fleets departed from secret bases, invisible to even senior command. Black Ops units infiltrated council space. Sabotage missions began. Communications blacked out. Supply lines disrupted. Jeff worked around the clock, planning, commanding, inspiring. Every order he gave shaped the course of humanity's future. At last, the war room was ready. The final meeting began. The council revealed who they are, Jeff said. Now we show them who we are. It's our turn. The room echoed with one word, affirmation. Not a plan. A vow. In orbit, the engines of Earth's stealth fleet hummed quietly, cutting through the blackness like ghosts. The flagship, Serpent, led the charge, sleek, deadly, almost invisible. On the command deck, Jeff stood silent, cold, ready. Status? He asked. Lieutenant Commander Eric responded swiftly. Target in range. Council doesn't suspect a thing. Ahead lay a key council communications hub, hidden in an asteroid field. If destroyed, their coordination would collapse. Jeff nodded. Begin. The assault. Around him, the bridge crew moved with silent precision, armaments primed, shields charged. This was more than payback. This was a message, a declaration. Humanity will not kneel. There was no time for errors on board. One of the generators and stealth arrays was already running hot. Sergeant Darius Peterson and his crew of strike frigates were ready. Their goal, to get into the hub and take down its defenses from the inside. Opening the door for the fleet. Peterson spoke steadily to his squad during the fleet's assault, reminding them, this isn't just another mission. Let's remind them of the error they made. The spacecraft coasted silently through the void, massive. Rocks loomed ahead, drifting in the asteroid field at the last navigational waypoint. Their surfaces were speckled with subtle glimpses of man-made structures, like the Council's hub as they moved in a frantic, silent tango. The hub sat in the center of the field, encircled by drone patrols and automatic turrets. It was a commanding sight, yet vulnerable. As the frigate cloaked itself and moved closer to the deployment zone, Peterson's troops braced for worsening conditions. Status on the drones, Ward? Peterson asked. Corporal Ward smiled, fingers dancing over his console, fully functional. Configured to give the impression the Council's systems are operating as usual. Good, Peterson nodded. Let's move. The team dressed in armor disguised as space debris. Each piece of black combat gear was designed to deflect and absorb enemy sensors. They loaded into the drop pod and awaited the green signal. When it came, the pod launched without a sound, gliding like a shadow toward the hub. Inside, the team stayed calm, breathing steady. Even with adrenaline coursing through them, their training held. Advanced dampeners softened their landing. Peterson moved first, weapon ready. As the pods hissed open, the crew slid out quickly, entering the hub's outer passageways. The interior was cold, sterile, lit dimly by strips of alien light. Ward broke into a nearby terminal, the glow of alien data reflecting off his visor. I've got it. Disabling the defense grid now. The console flared and the turrets returned to standby mode. Defenses are offline. Ward confirmed. Launch the missile salvo, Peterson ordered. Over the asteroid field, human missiles streaked across space. Explosions tore across the hub's surface, shattering barriers and sending debris flying. As the enemy scrambled to retaliate, the stealth fleet was already in motion. Inside the hub, Peterson's squad fought through the hallways toward the center. Alien guards opened fire, but it wasn't enough. Peterson's rifle barked relentlessly, every shot finding its mark. Combat drones lit up the corridors with dazzling bursts of light, disorienting the enemy. Pierce shouted out charges and planted explosives at choke points. "We're on the clock, move!" Peterson barked, his voice firm through the chaos. Each decision was precise, a balance between survival and destruction. They weren't just dismantling the hub, they were sending a message. Humanity would not be intimidated. As they neared the core, the alien defenders grew desperate. A huge armored beast charged Peterson, roaring. He dodged at the last second, striking. With his combat knife, the blade found a weak spot. The alien collapsed, choking on its own breath. Ward shouted, "Core ahead, but it's heavily guarded." Peterson didn't hesitate. A demolitions expert grinned and tossed several grenades. Into the hallway, the resulting blasts thundered through the corridors. The path was clear. At the center, Ward plugged into the alien mainframe. "Almost there," he muttered, eyes fixed on the data stream. "Done, it's ours. Fall back!" Peterson shouted. Charges detonated behind them, shaking the hub as it collapsed in a chain reaction. The team raced to the extraction site. The pod fired into space. Just as the last explosion tore through the structure, moments later, they were aboard their frigate, speeding toward the fleet. Jeff, aboard the Serpent, watched the devastation unfold on the main screen. Once a symbol of Council authority, the hub was now a burning ruin. Enemy reinforcements were en route, but it didn't matter. Jeff turned to his officers. "This is only the beginning," he said coldly. "Phase 2, prepare." Panic swept through Council systems like wildfire.